welcome. I am kind of overdue with my 2023, lineup video, what I'm using, what's my planning system so far. But I was hesitating to do this because it's kind of the same as last year. Last year I found that I was very happy with a system that had my bullet journal, a notebook for time blocking, and a planner for reference as a permanent log of all the main events in the year and for future planning. And this really felt like it clicked. This gives me peace, basically. So what I'm using for 2023, like I mentioned, I'm still using Hobonichi Weeks as a log of the most important events that happen throughout the year, as a log of have a brief summary of the main things that happen each day. And I'm still loving this, like absolutely in love with this, how I'm using this. So here's where I do my forward planning. So if there's an event I need to write down for March, April, or any other month of the year, it comes in here. This is where all my future planning goes, this monthly planner. I write the future event on my monthly and on the particular day. And for my weeklies, it's not too much about them. Everything with a circle and with my outliner is an event, an appointment, or something that was going to happen throughout the year. All of this with uppercase, it was probably future planning. Yeah, and everything with a dash is memory keeping. So just a brief line on something that happened. For example, this was my third day with very bad allergies, and what I took for my allergies, to have kind of that log in case they got worse, things like that. So this is a log. Payments I made this particular day, the World Cup final. Yeah, so this is future planning and a log of the main events. This habit tracker, I don't do them anymore because now I have this on my bullet journal, but this is gold. I like using the right page to write down a master list of the things I would like to tackle during a particular week. Sometimes I plan them in advance. For example, today is February 20th and I already have some things written down for this week of March, the second week of March. So yeah, I like going through my list as I plan my days to see which things I can tackle, to-dos, calls I have to make. All of that I have it in here, and I love having like a weekly, brain dump. And I use this a lot. I'm sorry I had to cover so many things, but this was kind of sensitive information. But yeah, this is how I use this, and I use the back pages for all sorts of notes. I have all sorts of lists, like things I want to tackle on a particular month, notes, additional notes on what happens on any given day. That happens with doctor's appointments. I write down kind of a summary of everything that the doctor told me. Also on January we had a family trip, and instead of taking my bullet journal or any other journal, I just took this planner and I did memory keeping here in the back. Then we came back and I went back to doing memory keeping in my journal. Sometimes if this is all I have with me, this is where I do my morning pages. So yeah, so useful. I'm in love with this little guy. Next, my bullet journal for this year, I decided to go to size up. While I did enjoy and loved the pocket size, I did miss having enough space for writing extensive notes, doing mind maps, brainstorming ideas, all of that. I mean, I could fit them in here, but sometimes when I'm doing mind maps or brainstorming, I like having the space just to spread out my notes. And before 2023, I knew that this year I had a big project on January, there's another one coming on March, job related, and there's another one coming up in May. So I knew I would need the space for notes, and I didn't want to have an extra notebook for those notes. I like to have them with my planning setup. And yeah, like because I started this bullet journal in December, I did take advantage of all the note space I had. There's like most of December is note pages, and I'm loving this bigger size. I'm super happy. This is an A5 Stylogy notebook. This is a grid notebook, very thin paper, kind of similar to Hobonichi, but not as well for with fountain pens. So in here, this is where I do future planning, not for events and tasks. This is more like my wishes, the things I would like to see happening on every given month. My monthlies look like this. I've been adding some stickers. These are from the Passion Planner. And I like having a sticker for the sign of the month. I mean, it adds a little touch of color, which is cute. On the right side, I keep birthdays and holidays. Here I have notes on something important, like paying for the car insurance. It has to happen this month. And this is straight out of the bullet journal method. So I have the days of the month in kind of like a list form. These are the moon phases, and I like to cross out the things that already happened. Like I mentioned, today is the 20th, so this one is done. This was in the morning, and we have this coming up, dentist appointment for my kid. So this is how I do my monthly planning. And my dailies, they are very simple, I think. I have been working with this .38 Muji pen. These are super affordable, and I like the fine point. And yeah, I think this paper is not great with fountain pen. I did try it, and the fountain pen kind of bleeds out. I don't know, I just don't like how it works with fountain pen. So I have been using this kind of pen. Aside from that, I love it. One of the best things about bullet journaling is having as much space as I need on any given day. Some days I only have some lines. Some days I use a whole page for my daily. I like to have the weather. And yeah, I do use the occasional stickers to add some touch of color. This is today, the 20th, and yeah, I'm loving this. And the only overlapping, I mean, there is overlapping with this one, but because this is a log of everything, this is meant to have everything I have everywhere else. Is it absolutely necessary to have 3 planners? No, it is not. I could have everything in here, honestly. I could have a kind of weekly that allows for time blocking and to track everything else. I could do my log of all the information for the year. I could have it in here. But I do find that I like having the freedom of throwing away or recycling any bullet journal. I also like having the freedom to switch notebooks if I run out of space, or if I would like to try out a different notebook. I like having the freedom to do that without worrying about having to write down again all the important information, or without worrying that I will have to archive 2, 3, 4 notebooks, because I do worry about the archive aspect of bullet journaling. especially when I go through several notebooks. I don't find it fun to have a whole shelf or bookshelf stuffed with tons of personalized planners or bullet journals. I only keep the ones that I really, really like, but I recycle the other ones. So, because I like to have the freedom to throw away some notebooks or change them or switch them or anything, these, I know that all the important things are here, and this gives me that freedom to do whatever I need to do with my bullet journal. And last but not least, this year, instead of a Hobonichi cousin, I am using a passion planner for time blocking, and I have to say I'm absolutely in love with this. So this is a brand that I have been very curious about for a while, and I decided to give it a go this year. I have a review of this planner on my channel if you're curious, but very quickly, it has what is this, like 160? No, well, it's thicker paper. Not as thick as an art journal leaf, but thicker than your regular, Leuchtturm or Moleskine. The idea is that it allows you to use different markers and pens and have fun with this planner. So, the thing I've been loving about this particular planner is the focus on goals and wellness. I love that at the end of each month you get this monthly reflection page. I mean, I've only done it for after January, but I did like the experience. I did like having to answer these questions, reflecting on my month. But the most useful part, I think, was this end of month checklist. Highlighting my accomplishments, thinking about the things I can change. It prompts you to go back to the goals you wrote in the beginning of the year and make adjustments on how you want to approach them. And this, oh my god, I was like, man, this is so useful. So set checkpoints. You go through your weekly layouts and you're like, oh, okay, I wrote down that I want to accomplish such and such, and you see how you did this month, and then you set checkpoint for the coming weeks. Checkpoints in the sense of maybe I could do this on the first week of March and this on the second week, to move the needle forward. I think the goal is always to move the needle forward, if it's just a little bit, even like 0.1% forward, but at least feel like you're getting closer to your dreams. And I love that. So I like writing down my week's focus, good things that happened. Oh, love this. And I also enjoy the weekly prompts. They're different for every week. So on week 6 of the year, it was make a list, mind map of 10 small things that make you happy. Take the time to do at least one of those things every day of the week. Oh, love that. And like I mentioned before, this is remember to fill your own cup kind of planner. I like seeing how I'm using my days, where my time is going. So yeah, I mean, even on those weeks where I feel like I didn't accomplish much, for example, I have I didn't do any of this. Seeing this is like, okay, but I mean, I had fun. I had time to read. I had time to, I had creative time, which is so nice to have. I was able to read some pages of, I don't know, such and such book. I've been reading about tarot cards because I'm interested in the in archetypes, really. And I want to learn more about that, and I think reading about tarot helps you understand the different archetypes that we find in storytelling, in books, in movies, in all forms of myths and legends. So you can find archetypes throughout history, and I thought that a good starting point to understand them was reading about tarot cards. So that's what I'm doing. And even if I can read 2 or 3 pages, I write it down because that is a win for me. And yeah, so this is how it's looking. I like here had a full meltdown because of something that happened in the family. Here the prompt was to think about something I failed at doing and try to approach it with a different perspective. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do a Pomodoro for dreadful tasks. That's what I have, and I didn't do it. So I was like, cross it out. I didn't do any Pomodoros, but I did move forward in some sense. I mean, I was able to cross out many of the things I had in here. And because I crossed this out, I added motivational stickers. Love what you do and love how you do it. Hey, go at your own pace, I believe in you. I mean, they can be corny, but they make me happy. And this should be fun. So I'm adding stickers, and I like that they jog my memory as to what happened on any given week without reading what I have on, on my lines. So that's my current planning system. Super happy. Kind of the same as last year. If you're not a multiple planner kind of person, just take the ideas that work for you. No one has to feel like they have to do anything they don't feel comfortable doing. My goal here is to share ideas that any of you could find helpful or useful to add to your planning system. So far, I'm very happy with this, to continue with this kind of lineup as I had in the second half of 2022. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get back to you, and I'll see you in the next one.